Today we are thrilled to welcome Susana, the founder of Unakti, as our distinguished guest at Terra Confluence 2024. A transformative figure, Susana made a significant leap from the financial sector to lead in the realm of regenerative agroforestry and sustainable business, leading Unakti dedicated to creating pure plant-based cosmetic health and wellness products. Her work is deeply rooted in the principles of Vedic science and philosophy, which she seamlessly integrates into Nakti's operations, emphasizing holistic and ethical approaches. A champion for women's empowerment, Susanna's initiatives focus on building community resilience and creating inclusive ecosystems through regenerative projects, collaborating with local women or powerhouses or Shakti, as we say in Hindi, of any community. Furthermore, is passionate about soil health and biodiversity restoration, dedicating herself to educating the next generation on sustainable living. We are excited to hear her share her inspiring journey and invaluable insights on fostering a sustainable and harmonious relationship with nature. With that, I welcome you, Susanna, and we have some quick questions for you. The first one being that with your deep connection to nature and ancient cultures, especially Vedic sciences, how have these shaped you, Onakti's philosophy and operation? Could you throw some light on that?
Yeah, a profound connection to nature and the rich heritage of ancient cultures, particularly this Vedic science in India, is actually the cornerstone of Unakti's philosophy and operations. This deep-rooted aspect of respect towards the natural world and ancient wisdom defines every aspect of our journey, from the creation of our products to our community engagements and regenerative initiatives. Nature offers both the inspiration and the resources necessary for healing, wellness, and prosperity. Our devotion to Vedic science, with its emphasis on harmony between the individual and the cosmos, guides us in creating products and practices that align with these natural principles. This ancient knowledge, with its holistic approach to health and wellness, inspires us to look beyond the superficial aspect of beauty and seek out the essence of wellness, the true essence of wellness, one that nourishes the body, mind, and spirit. So it's a holistic concept of wellness, in which we cannot only focus on the external aspect or the skin. We work from the inside, and we work with a very holistic approach, understanding that it's all interconnected. Now, our connection to ancient cultures and their sustainable ways of living drives Unakti's operations to be environmentally conscious and ethically sound. We prioritize sustainable sourcing for our raw ingredients. So this is done in a way that supports the ecosystems rather than depleting the ecosystems. And by incorporating regenerative agricultural and farming practices and supporting biodiversity, we ensure that our operations contribute to the general health of people and planet. As well as our packaging choices, which follow the ancient principle of ahimsa, non-violence. So we opt for eco-friendly materials that minimize our environmental footprint, for example, such as biocomposites and mycelium for the secondary packaging, reflecting our commitment to living in harmony with nature.
That is great. That is so wholesome to hear our current businesses following traditional practices to make a sustainable environment. Now, moving on, can you share some insights from your Himalayan research experience and how it's shaping your vision for a matriarchal, inclusive, regenerative ecosystem at Unakti?
Yes, the research in Himalayas was a very profound, deep experience in which, of course, I understood the integral role of matriarchal systems in fostering environmental stewardship and sustainable living. This insight has deeply influenced Unakti's vision, particularly emphasizing the creation of a matriarchal framework within our ecosystem. So actually the matriarchal framework started also from our organization, in the sense that we are clearly a matriarchal project. We are a female-led business. Actually, the core team of 5 stewards, we are fully women. It's a team of 15 right now, out of which 10 are female, 5 are male who respect and understand the urgent need to elevate the matriarch. So when I went to the Himalayas already, there was a profound sense of matriarch that came with me. But once I reached the Himalayas and I conducted my research, the wisdom of women, especially in relationship with agriculture, herbal medicine, traditional herbal medicine, and ecosystem management, stood as a backstone for community resilience and ecological balance. So this observation underscored the importance of elevating and centering women's roles in Unakti. Our vision seeks to harness this matriarchal wisdom, recognizing women not only as custodians of ancient knowledge, but also as innovators and leaders in the journey towards bioregional regeneration at planetary scale.
Seeing that we have such a few female-led organizations and fewer participations all over the world, it is something which is very inspiring to see that there's a well-established business run entirely by a female leadership. That is an amazing thing.
Well, see, the reality is that we may not know this, but for 200,000 years, approximately, we were matriarch. We were successful matriarchs. So it's nothing new. We are just going back to a system that we know it works. We have proof of concept. We have 200,000 years proof of concept of successful matriarchs. Now, many people may ask, how do you know that? Well, please go and do your research. There are documentaries done on this matter. And of course, with new technologies, they have found new archaeological sites in which it is proof that the legacy of the leadership was female. So in the tombs, they were finding, the female bodies with the typical adornments of leadership and so on. So, this is the way it's always been, because at the end of the day, I think you'll agree with me that there is no higher power than the power of creating life. Yeah. As women, we are the chosen vehicle between heaven and earth. We are the chosen vehicle to create life. In this amazing cosmic dance between Shakti and Shiva, the power of Shakti, the female, the feminine energy, and Shiva, the consciousness, this is of course where the Vedic roots, come into place, because we understand that relationship and we cannot divide male and female. Okay, there is Akash, which is male, which is a space that holds Shakti, which is action, the female energy, the creative energy, right? So Akash is the holder, and Shakti is the active creative energy. Shakti is the creator, Shakti is the leader, right? So in ancient civilizations, which were clearly far more intelligent and intellectual than we are now, they understood this. Female have certain characteristics, personality characteristics that make us more suitable to leadership. And it doesn't mean, I'm not talking about a gender, it's not a gender related system. Matriarchy is about balance. We both have feminine and masculine in us, feminine and masculine energies Ida and Pingala, yeah? Known in yoga as Ida and Pingala, two of the main energetic channels, together with Sushukma, the spine channel, right? So it's all about balancing these two energies, masculine and feminine. Now, these energies complement each other perfectly well. It's not that one is above the other or is more relevant than the other. They complement each other perfectly well. And as a matter of fact, yoga means union. Okay, yoga means union. It's the union between the male and female in us. Because through this end of dualities, when we reach alignment with the higher consciousness, where is the way we can access to the supreme divine, right? So the roots of the matriarch are very deep, and they need to be understood. They need to be understood from a deep spiritual base of knowledge. Yeah. So that's the situation. Matriarchy for 200,000 years, successful matriarchs, and patriarchy came into place only some 7,000 years ago, which is basically yesterday. Yeah. So in these 7,000 years, what has happened is that male took the power based in muscular force. Okay, muscle force, not in intellect and in leadership capabilities. It was based in force. Yeah. Now, since then, 7,000 years, where are we now? We are in planetary collapse. Yeah. So in only 7,000 years, they have managed to nearly finish life on the planet. So, you know, this in business is called proof of concept. Yeah. If Patriarch was a startup, it would have been closed 6,998 years back. Right. So it's not that men are less than women or that men are less capable than women. It's only that the capabilities are different. Men are very good at implementing. Men are very good at operations. Men are very good at getting things done. But the final world, as in the ancient cultures, was in the clan of the mothers, in the hands of the clan of the mothers. Okay, that is the real matriarch. The matriarch is about balance. It's not about gender. It's not about color. It's not about country. It's just about balance. So I think it's very important that we start by understanding what does matriarch mean, because when we talk about matriarch, there is a very pushback that I feel from people, because they believe or they imagine that it's about a group of women with the traditional traits of men who want to take over, want to hoard power, and want to hoard wealth. And that is not at all what matriarch is about. Matriarch is about balance. We need to understand this, and we need to realize this. And we had a very nice talk with a Native American leader from the Navajo tribe. And she said something very beautiful. She said that in her tribe, matriarchy is not even discussed. It's not a topic that is even discussed because it's clearly understood by everybody, and men don't feel threatened by it. This is very important. Men don't feel threatened by women leadership. Yeah. And in the matriarch, women understand that leadership is not a privilege, but a responsibility, right? So the approach towards leadership and towards power is very, very difficult. It's very, very different from, from male and female, very different approaches. We are more about collaboration and nurturing, and we are about protecting life, yeah? We are about regenerating. That's why the regenerative movement is also such a female-led movement, because it's in our nature. Nature is regenerative per se. That's the way nature works. It's regenerative. If we leave it alone, if suddenly we disappear, nature will regenerate herself in no time.
True.
So that is the female essence of regeneration, and that is the female essence of Mother Earth.
Right. Now, if I would, this was like a very eye-opening perspective that you put, and that was not something that everyone discuss. And then it is something that needs to be understood that there's a need for balance in our current generation, current world, and a shift is required for our survival, not just human survival, survival of biodiversity, survival of our planet. That was beautifully put. Now, moving on towards more about what Onakti is, I want to ask that what strategies is Onakti implementing to make the cosmetics industries more sustainable while balancing high performance products with ecological integrity? I ask this because there are other business owners or people in these fields who are they want to become sustainable, they want to implement these, but due to the costs and prices, and there's a more cost to sustainability, they are not able to do so. So what strategies are Onakti implementing, if you would like to say something for them?
Yeah, well, see, this is the thing. It's not that they are not able to do it, it's that they don't want to do it because their priorities are absolutely wrong. So, see, it's very simple. If you place profit before planet and people, yeah, numbers don't make sense
True.
in an ecological concept. Yeah. Okay. We cannot source like sustainable ingredients or 100% clean and natural raw ingredients because numbers don't work. So this is what happens when you place profit first. Now our approach is very different. We are placing first planet before people. First is planet, because if we don't have a clean and safe environment in which we can thrive, there is nothing we can do, right? So planet comes first. So even this we don't get right because we've been saying for a long time, people, planet, and profit. Well, no, planet, profit, and people. Why? Because nature is abundant. Just keep nature in balance, yeah? Respect the laws of nature, and she will provide to us. She will provide. Nature is abundant, right? So it's not that they cannot do it, it's that they need to change their approach to business. And that's what we are doing. We are doing a regenerative approach to business. What does this mean? First of all, there is a lot of misinformation regarding the cosmetics industry, in the sense we have been taught to believe that certain synthetic and chemical ingredients may be more powerful than natural ingredients, right? Yeah, well, this could not be farther from the truth. This is, of course, a narrative that we've been hearing for years, coming from, a number of, from an industry that is very powerful. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. And this narrative is based on profit making, not on, caring for the health of the customers and the planet at all, right? So we need to understand, to start with the etymology of the word alternative. Alternative medicine, yeah, alternative medicine. So we talk about alternative medicine when we when we are talking about different, normally it's different ancient methodologies of healing, of therapeutical approaches, and so on. But if we go to the root of the word, alternative, okay, comes from the Latin word alter, native, yeah, alter to alter, native, the native compounds of the plant. Okay, alternative, to alter the chemical compounds on the plant. So basically what medicine and pharma is trying to do, they identify a kind of herb or plant that indigenous communities have been used for thousands of years with a very positive record, yeah, on healing and so on, and try to extract those compounds in a synthetic manner with synthetics and chemicals to obtain the same result. This, of course, is not only impossible because, I mean, it's really naive to believe that we can do better than nature, you know. And at the same time, they don't tell us that these chemical compounds that they are creating are causing hormonal or endocrine disruptions. Yeah. So we may be able to see faster results, but at which price? This is what we need to ask ourselves. So our approach to sustainability in the cosmetic industry is holistic, integrating our respect for nature with our quest for creating high performance products that our customers love and trust. So we're on a journey to prove that skincare and wellness can thrive while fostering a healthier planet. So first, we focus on ingredient sourcing. So we prioritize ingredients that are not only natural and effective, but also ethically sourced. This means working closely with local communities and suppliers who share our commitment to sustainability and ethical practices. Secondly, our innovations in packaging. So we are moving away from traditional plastics, right? I think by now we are all aware of the incredible harm that plastics are doing to us, to all life in the planet. And we want to take the lead on detoxifying the cosmetics industry, not only by using 100% naturally, purely natural ingredients, ethically sourced or cultivated by ourselves, which is the next stage with our project in the Himalayas, but also with the packaging. So we are moving away from plastic packaging, right? So it's a very long and challenging journey because there is not enough investment in research and development for biocomposites and alternatives to plastic. Basically, we are addicts to plastic. We don't even question, we just buy it. So we have found some very interesting innovators around the world working in sustainable options for packaging. And we have found some in India. Actually, this is very recent because I've been conducting research for the last 12 years. We didn't want to launch a product until we had the sustainable packaging in place. This is a very important aspect of the project for us, aligned with our philosophy. So we are using now biocomposites, yeah, and mycelium for the secondary packaging. Mycelium basically is made out of fungi roots, which is a very interesting secondary packaging with organic matter. So this is finally being developed in India for the first time, which is fantastic. It's still not perfect. The biocomposites has still a small percentage of plastic-based binders. So it's still not 100% nature positive. But in order to compensate for that, what we are doing is that we are making our design reusable. So it's going to turn into, you know, different things, a candle holder and this and that. So that means that the whole point is reducing waste. Right. So while we keep on investing in R&D to reach to that 100% biodegradable backyard, biodegradable packaging, we are coming with, creative ways of helping people to avoid wastage by throwing the packaging. Now, in the cosmetics, it is staggering the amount of toxic pollutants that we found. As a matter of fact, only in the US, 600 cosmetic producers have reported using 88 proved toxic compounds that can lead to hormonal disruption, cancer, endocrine disruption, etc., etc. So the list is long. We are exposed on daily basis to thousands of pollutants coming from, you know, food industry, drinks industry, the air we breathe, the clothing we wear, cosmetic and personal care products, home cleaning products. And out of all of these, cosmetics is possible the one that is more overlooked by authorities. So there is actually it's a long list of thousands and thousands of chemicals and synthetic compounds that are not even researched. We don't even know what they do to us, but we know that they are polluting. So our bodies are not designed to support this kind of chemical input, you know. So it is very important to start raising awareness. It's very important that the consumers take the time to read the labels, and if there is something that they don't understand there in the label, it's a red flag. Yeah. And it's very important as well to be very mindful with labels that, that label products as natural and organic and so on, because there is a lot of greenwashing as well.
True. So I would like to say, Wayne, here that not only there's greenwashing, which is say people saying this is sustainable and that is not so. Also, because of unawareness, most of us we do not know whatever ingredients they use because there's a long list of chemicals and stuff there. That is one negative impact. Another issue is that what I was talking about, people not adapting sustainable businesses or thing is that because the price of the products, if you see for a completely artificial product and a sustainable product will have those differences in price. So it might be for some businesses, it is okay, like what you did, you waited for 12 years to find a sustainable solution and go for the research and development you needed and proceed. But maybe for some businesses, it is not possible to do. They are that is their only means of earning or something. And other thing is that in the market there are so much of artificial things coming on that people will prefer whatever is the cheapest among and more vastly marketed. There is also marketing strategies there. So they will adapt those products that the actual, which is something which is naturally good for them. So is there anything that you can say that can make this a little bit less? I mean, it's like if this is something that needs to be stopped, is there any way we can do this?
Look, it is a very difficult and challenging task, and it's a long journey because, as you have rightly pointed out, we are suffering misinformation and miseducation for many years at large scale based on generating interests, right? Now, if we were intellectual beings, as the Vedic were, as ancient indigenous cultures around the world were, if we were intellectual beings, we would be questioning things, right? Yes. But we're not. We are not. We are following what is called the herd instinct. Okay, so we don't question, we don't think. We may believe that we think, but we do not think. We just follow the herd. Like, for example, why do we go to school? Why do we go to university? Why? We are just following the herd. There is not a thought process behind taking a decision of going to a college or to university or taking a degree or a bachelor's in this and that. There is not a thought process. We are doing it just because we are following the herd instinct. With the consumer's choices, is exactly the same. We don't question, we just buy. We are in a way, we are like monkeys like shiny toys. So you show something very beautifully packaged, yeah, in plastic, of course, and people will buy it. They don't question, they don't bother to question what is behind. So the level of ignorance that we are suffering today has reached such immense depths that we are not free thinkers anymore. We don't take informed decisions. So this is where we want to really take action with education. Start bringing awareness on these incredible dangers and health issues that mainstream toxic cosmetics can cause. Now, a very easy way to avoid toxic cosmetics if you don't have a budget is what I always recommend to everybody who cannot afford our products, just buy your local cold pressed virgin oil, whichever it is, wherever you are around the world. A cold pressed virgin oil, vegetable oil, is better than any mainstream cosmetic, because it is pure, it is natural, it's fantastic for the skin. Any oil is fantastic for the skin. Depending on the climate and the area where you are, go for local always and just use a simple extra virgin cold pressed natural oil. For business owners, honestly, I have no inputs to share with business owners who are driving a business based on profit making. I would just tell them, close down your business and start something from zero with another approach.
Yeah.
That's all I can say, because honestly, we need to stop this madness of extraction, pollution, exploitation. We need to stop this madness. And these people who complain about not being able to afford sustainable practices are just being, they are adding fuel to this immense life systems collapse that we are witnessing. Is much more than just climate collapse, is life systems collapse, right? So yeah, I would invite anyone who has an unsustainable business to close down, grow personally and spiritually, because I believe that today, in order to run a business or to be a leader in any field, you really need to put some time in your personal and spiritual growth. Otherwise, you are just not suited to be a leader. It's very simple.
That is true. And I would like to also wait like the last couple of minutes, maybe on that. The We already have the knowledges, the discussions I've been having in these sessions, and many other people that I actually research on indigenous knowledge systems and how we can use them for climate adaptation and resilience. So what I found was not only just for Indian culture, all around the world, the knowledge exists within nature. So what we need to do is find those hidden knowledges that nature has, that traditional system has, and don't we should not forget the technologies and development, and then add them
Absolutely.
and move forward. And we have been trying to do that in our organization, because this is our Global Climate Association is more of a climate literacy and educational initiative. And I totally support when you say that if somebody is leading in like a business or organization, they need to be spiritually aware or maybe educated enough to take those decisions, which are not just for their own profit but has a kindness factor attached to that. And we have to understand we are only living because of the nature. And on that note, like to ask you one last question. How can someone how can someone who's in the field of education or research, like someone like me, how can I help in uh, creating maybe some sort of a information channel or something that will lead to people understanding the impacts of the negative impacts of what currently products we are using, and to go towards the sustainable products. Because I see you yourself said that if somebody cannot afford your product, they should go and use something that is natural and local. I pretty sure 90% of businesses will not say that. They will say theirs is the best product. So you said something very different. So how can someone like us help you in spreading this word? I would like to know that before uh, ending this session.
Yeah. So, okay, we need to understand the important role of the key role of education, right? Which is what you are doing. First of all, going back to the Vedas, just quickly, let me say this because this is important. The Vedic civilization has been the most flourishing and evolved civilization that has walked the earth. Okay, this is it. We are in India and we have access to this unbelievable high culture and knowledge. So I would suggest and I would recommend anyone in India to start encouraging this revival of the Vedic knowledge and the Vedic culture, because it is very intrinsically related to the way nature works, right? Because in the Vedic civilization, the Vedic civilization was weaving the individual and the planet with the cosmos. Everything was interrelated. Yeah.
Yes.
So I think for India, in this case, is very important. The great Bharat, Jay Bharat, is very important that we get back to the study and the understanding of the Vedic knowledge to start with, revive these very rich roots. And I think that would be a very good place to start with, because there is so much knowledge, such profound knowledge that lies in this amazing country. And I see India, for the last 20 years that I'm living here, I see India looking at the West and trying to mimic the West. And this is something that I really cannot figure out. It's like, you guys have the highest knowledge, culture, scientific research that has ever existed. Nobody has ever reached the high connection with the universal forces and the cosmic forces that the Vedic have. So what is India doing looking at the West? I really cannot figure this out. So I think we need to revive this knowledge of the Vedas, which is something that we are doing with our community space called named Soil to Soul, because according to us, the wellness aspect, as I mentioned before, is not only external, but is deeply internal, right? So personal growth and spiritual growth are closely linked to our education purposes. And I guess they could be very much, linked to your education purposes as well. Invite people to go back to delve into the knowledge of your ancestors. The Vedic culture is absolutely mind-blowing. It's incredible. As a matter of fact, most, if not all, most of the scientific discoveries that have been attributed to ale and pale in Europe, they come from the Vedas. India was sending 1,500 ships from India to Rome in the year 2000, when Europe was just a bunch of tribes. So India was exporting all these libraries with this incredible knowledge to Europe, when Europe, they were very, very far from any scientific discoveries. So this is something that I think it's worthwhile understanding. For example, I've got a bachelor's in history. I never heard about the Vedas. How is this possible? Until I came to India, the education that we receive is, of course, colonial education, that is serving the colonial purposes and the colonial agenda. To start with, the word education comes from educare, which is Latin word, which means to bring out. That means to develop cognitive and personality performance with certain knowledge sharing, right? So it's to bring out, that is education, but we have turned it in push in, push in data that most of the time is not even truth when we are talking about history, right? So it's absolutely unnatural, the approach we have to education. It's unnatural to get a bunch of kids sitting in a classroom behind a desk for hours with a book and a pen and just repeating and learning like parrots. This is unnatural. Children are meant to be outside. And this is one of the experiences that I had in the Himalayas when I was teaching the kids regenerative farming, right? Kids thrive outside. So I think it's very important that we start also educating kids in regenerative practices, because we need these kids to be the stewards of the planet of the future. We need these kids to understand how soil works, the life in just one spoon of soil. So I think this is a very important aspect. From my side, what I was doing in Himalayas, I was basing my educational program on basically 3 topics. 1, climate change, right? Next one was female leadership, women empowerment, and they all understood very well because it's very simple. Women tend to invest 90% of their salaries in their families and their communities, while men drink it. And this is something that the kids were seeing at home. So it's very easy to talk to them. First of all, the way I relate to them, it was on Gurukula style. So it was not on a classroom. We would be sitting in nature under a tree, yeah? And I would be sharing knowledge with them and discussing with them. And it's very easy for them to understand because they see it at home. They see what happens at home in these areas, in these mountain areas, where men drink heavily and women take all the load of work, of family responsibility, etc., etc. So climate collapse, female leadership, the urgent need for female empowerment, and regenerative farming, how to save the soil, how to rejuvenate the soil so that the soil can give us, give us with everything that we need, really. Because we can grow raw ingredients for cosmetics, exactly the same. We can grow raw ingredients for fashion. There is no need for poisonous fashion either, for fast fashion at all. Yeah. So this same model that we are applying of cleaning up the supply ecosystems is something that can be implemented in any business, and this is something that we need to teach as well.
I love what you said, the community participation, female empowerment, a sense of belonging to nature. There is a disconnect from nature right now. We are sitting in front of our screens or classes for a long time, and then we do not know what this. So that is why the reason everything is getting destroyed in front of us, and we are unaware of that because we are running after a virtual reality which does not exist. So with that note, I would like to say that we need to adapt these, work together, like you and me coming together. What you said was exactly what three other one women educator, another female naturalist who works with conservation, they said that, and so many more people, men and women, the same, that we need to have an education system and sustainable system where there is a connect to nature. We need to go out, we need to send children to see, and we need to show them how there was life in the past using maybe satellite data or imagery, and how it going to be a future if we do not act. So with that note, I thank you so much for coming to our session today and giving this amazing new perspective on how we should lead our way forward in the face of changing climate and climate crisis and chaos. So thank you so much, Susanna, for coming today.
Thank you. Jai Ma Hari Om Tat Sat.